What's going on, everybody? Sonar here, and this is my 2020 Nitro Z20. This is my favorite boat that I've ever had in tournament fishing, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that I've got 3 different brands of electronics on this boat. I'm known as the guy on the FLW Pro circuit that runs all 3 major brands of electronics: Humminbird, Garmin, and Lowrance. And my boy Jason at bassboatelectronics.com, he's the one that rigged it all up. He is an expert at it. He sells the best electronics and installs them. And so I wanted to share with you the reason why I use 3 different brands on my boat and the reason why I think it's the way to go. So let's get started on the console. All right, so here we are at the console. We've got a Humminbird Helix 12 right next to a Lowrance HDS Live 12 unit, and both of those are on a Bass Boat Technologies mount. Pretty awesome mount. It is about as well designed as I've ever seen a mount for putting dual units on a console. So absolutely love the functionality of that. But let's start with the Humminbird. The Humminbird Helix 12 is all by itself. I have no other Humminbirds on this boat, and I use this Humminbird as a isolated system, meaning that because it's not connected to anything, if anything goes wrong with the Lowrance system that I have connected to another Lowrance on the bow, if anything goes wrong with that system while I'm navigating, I still have a unit that allows me to navigate and just kind of get through the day. And I use this for traditional 2D sonar only, because I have a through-hole transducer, and that allows me to have bottom contact and be able to find offshore structure changes and isolated grass beds and things of that sort while I'm on plane, and it does a pretty good job. I can pretty much go 60 miles an hour easily and still maintain bottom contact, which is really critical. So I use the Humminbird unit for macro mapping, meaning zoomed out mapping, to be able to get a big snapshot of what the lake looks like and to find the next piece of structure that I'm going to be fishing, and overall just as a backup to the Lowrance system if needed. So the Lowrance system, again, is the only brand that I've got connected to another unit. And what I use the Lowrance for is, number one, I think that Lowrance has the best waypoint and track management system. And I love the overall system, the interface, and how everything works with the Lowrance, I think is very intuitive to me. And that may just be because I've been using Lowrance for so long, but that's the reason why I've got 2 different Lowrance units on here. But I use this pretty much as the core for searching out structure and cover and finding those fish. And so I use it for side scan, down scan, 2D sonar, and micro mapping. And so I'm utilizing on both units, the Humminbird and the Lowrance, Navionics maps. But on the Lowrance, I'm trying to zoom in and really get a close snapshot and fine tune the structure that I'm searching. So if I'm on a point, I'm zoomed all the way in and trying to find those really small details that I might miss by being zoomed out on the Humminbird. So that's what I use it for. And I've got the Lowrance unit, of course, connected via NEMA 2000 to my 0.1 puck, which gives you directional GPS. All right, so that is the console. A lot of people ask me, why don't I use the Humminbird for the mega side imaging and down imaging? I will admit that's one of the trade-offs of this system, is the fact that Humminbird does have some of the clearest side imaging and down imaging. However, I really don't think that I'm missing out a whole lot when it comes to the Lowrance side scan and down scan, and I think that Lowrance's 2D sonar is superior to the Humminbird. Personally, that's my personal opinion. But so there's a little bit of a trade-off, but really when it comes to having 2 really good units at my console and having to choose between one or the other to be connected to another unit on the bow, the Lowrance wins overall in my book. So let's go to the front. All right, so at the front, again, we have another Lowrance HDS 12 Live, and this one, of course, is connected to the console. Has all my waypoints and everything on there, sharing everything, and I use it for mapping, my Navionics mapping, and 2D sonar while I'm fishing. So that's pretty much it when it comes to the HDS Live. It's just for mapping and that 2D sonar, and I generally don't use downscan that much because I've got the 1242 XSV Garmin right above it, and that is all for Panoptix Live Scope. And Panoptix Live Scope, I'm telling you, is just an incredible piece of technology. I'm of course going to be doing a lot of videos on that, but that's all I use this unit for. And of course, the great thing is, if something again happens to the Lowrance unit and the Lowrance system, if they start glitching in pairs and both Lowrances start going out, I've got both the Humminbird up there and the Garmin up here as a backup. But generally everything works perfect, and this is what I use for Garmin Panoptix Live Scope. All right, so that's pretty much my entire setup on this Z20. My electronics on here are just optimized. I mean, I think this is the best electronic system that you can possibly have, because I'm picking and choosing the best qualities from each brand to my benefit. And that's something that bassboatelectronics.com has really helped me out with, and really created the best system, and they installed the best system. And so overall, you know, I don't think that you need to be married to one brand unless you have a partnership with them. Each one of these brands makes a great product, but each one has some strengths, and I really like to utilize those to my advantage. So that is the reason why I've got 3 different brands on this boat, and man, I couldn't be happier with this Z20. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any comments or questions, of course, comment below. Like this video if you liked it, and make sure you subscribe to Sonar Fishing. See you guys out on the water.